It's 5:05 p.m. and I'd like to call the meeting to order. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and will be able to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The following information is also provided for members of the public that would like to view the meeting remotely. This agenda lists all topics which may be discussed at the meeting and are those that are reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed, in fact, may be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by open meeting law. We'll start the meeting with public comment. Does the committee have any public comment? Okay. Any public comment from the public? Come on up. I don't know if it, I was going to say is down there. Can you do it that way so you can put Paula on?
So first, I want to thank all of you for volunteering. I appreciate the work that you're doing to evaluate the duties, responsibilities, and complexity of all the positions in the town under the Salaryman Plan. I'm here tonight regarding the classification and the rating of the sewer business manager position. On June 13th, the Personnel Committee rated this position. Unfortunately, there's not a video of the meeting and the minutes are very simplistic. They just state that positions were reviewed and rated using the new rubric. I've spoken with Bill, who is the DPW director and my direct supervisor, regarding the rating score assigned to the position as a result of that meeting. Unfortunately, Bill didn't receive the rating system and manual until just a few minutes before the meeting, putting him at a significant disadvantage to evaluate the position against the rating scale. Nevertheless, it's my understanding that Bill voiced his concern over the low rating in many facets of the grid. Having had time to review the position classification manual that you guys are using, I have significant concerns regarding the weight given to many of the areas being evaluated and the rating system that's being utilized. However, using the same rating system as the committee, Bill and I came up with a grade level of 7 for the business manager position rather than the grade level of 10 assigned by this committee. Having reviewed the job description provided by HR for the sewer business manager, the description and the duties of the position are grossly outdated. I'm not sure when this was adopted, but the job description that the consultant, HR Key, that was engaged by the committee, developed a job description in 2023 in consultation with the then sewer business manager. This job description captures many of the additional elements of a business manager position. However, there are still several important duties that should be incorporated. I'm currently working with Bill Bernard on a revised job description, and I look forward to providing that to the committee. I understand and appreciate that the committee is attempting to establish equity among positions within the town, and that classification systems are based on the position and the associated duties, not with the individual holding the position. Therefore, it's critical that the duties of the position are clearly understood and rated fairly. Before finalizing the rating scale, I would respectfully request that employees, supervisors, and board committee members be given an opportunity to review the rating scale, and should there be a disagreement with the assigned rating based on inaccurate job descriptions and lack of understanding of the duties performed, that they have an opportunity to review and discuss the discrepancies with the committee. Implementing this process would best protect the interest of both taxpayers and town employees. Thank you.
Thank you. And I in hearing that, I'm not sure our plan has been sort of fully laid out. And I know, that, Julie is attempting to put forward information somewhat about the next steps, because there's a lot of steps still to go. I mean, these are initial steps. But yes, I would suspect that there will be more employees beyond Paula that have concern about this, and hopefully, in evaluation again, sort of a re-evaluation in conjunction with their supervisor, we can then look at any of those outlying positions, and when I say outlier, I mean those that are saying this doesn't accurately represent.
We actually already have several that don't.
Well,
really
we don't,
represent.
absolutely.
And we've taken note,
We know
make
that.
sure that we can go back to those. I have a question though, Paula.
Mhm.
You said that, that the grade that the personnel committee gave the sewer business manager, right,
Mhm, mhm.
was a 10, and you felt it should be a 7?
Yes,
We have it as a 7.
not on the one that we received,
That's what I'm
On
looking
the
at it, so.
Winchester scale.
on the Winchton scale,
Winchester scale.
using the Winchton scale.
No, that's what I'm looking at. So,
Well, what Julie provided to me shows it as a 10. It's a rating, it's a score of 495,
it is a score of 495.
which is a 10,
It could be old numbers and new numbers.
which is a
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, it could be old numbers and new
We
numbers.
both came up with a significantly higher number.
Okay.
495 is the total.
Yes, we
Okay.
came up with 715 and 655, so that's
I
my
see.
concern.
You're saying that you came up with,
A much higher
High.
rating
Got it.
than
Okay.
the 495.
yeah, so
Okay.
perhaps that becomes an outlier and, like we said, it
Mhm.
will be going back.
And I
But
guess that's
this
what I'm
is-
bringing.
This is just a
up.
preliminary cut at where we land. What we're trying to do right now is to be sure that the consultant that was hired, and we weren't totally comfortable with the result of that, so we wanted a way to go back and redo and kind of see where we landed. And that's really what we're doing right now.
An initial pass to some degree, because there will probably be a chunk of positions where it's accurate
Yeah, it's
and
accurate.
and it works. But I think the thing for us was we knew there would be those on the outskirts, and how many we weren't really sure.
Right.
Well,
But
it's not surprising, given that you've changed it a bit
Mhm,
since it was
mhm.
first done. So that isn't surprising that we would see that kind of activity. You might look at it in a very different way than the previous director did. Yep. Not surprising. Okay.
did that letter go out, Julie? Okay.
Yes.
So I thought so, but I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if it had gone. So, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Approval of meeting minutes from September
Is there any
6th.
other?
And oh, sorry, I did not see any other hands prior, so
Okay.
okay, thank you. Approval of meeting minutes from September 6th. Any questions or concerns with what we were presented? All right, then I would entertain a motion to approve September 6th meeting minutes.
I make motion that we approve minutes of September 6th meeting.
Second.
Second, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And an aye for Wendy. So we are approving those minutes from September 6th. Ongoing business, vacation leave accrual. And I'm actually going to move that we table this discussion until our whole committee is here. Even with only 4 of us, one missing is key. So
Agreed.
is it
I make a motion that
motion.
we adjust that to the next meeting.
Second.
second? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And aye. So we are all 3 behind moving that. New business, job description, review, and rating. So first position is assistant to the sewer business manager. Let us know when you're good so we can,
Yeah, hold on just a second.
yeah,
Just
I wanted to
a
make sure I give
second.
you time
I
to
think I'm good.
think you're good.
Yeah.
So in looking at the system, number 1, knowledge, training, and education. It's like a degree 3 is what I'm seeing with that. In terms of the description, requiring an associate's degree, minimum of 2 years experience.
Three is 60.
Oh, you got,
I
thank you.
got
You got it. Thank you.
Enough to go.
So number 2, level of experience. Years. Yeah, this called for a minimum of 2 years, but 2 years is what's stated.
It would be 2.
So it'd be
Say
degree
2.
2,
20.
which is minimum of 1 year up to 3 years. 20 points. Number 3, supervision received or required. Serving work.
3.
Yeah, general supervision. Standard assignments, daily duties.
So we came up with a 2.
It was between a 2 and a 3. Yeah.
But the both of us conferred about it and went over it, and we both think it's a 2.
And why did you think that, Paula?
Because this individual is gonna be directly under the supervision of the sewer business manager. They're not going to be making a lot of decisions on their own. Everything will be sort of directed by myself or by Bill.
So in the actual job description itself, it does talk about using initiative and referring only unusual situations too. So that's why we probably read it more like a 3, because it has those words in it that make us think that they have to have more independent judgment than maybe
Quite-
that you think they have.
Yeah, quite frankly, this is gonna be more of a clerical type position than
Do you think that the job description should be adjusted in some way?
potentially.
Because it does read a little bit higher than that.
Yeah. A lot of the things in the office have been automated. So there's not a whole lot of, it's become very simplified from what it was. Which I agree with that.
I do.
Could we make a suggestion then that maybe we take a look at
The job
some of the words in it would depict something a little bit more, and maybe in the past it was like that, and in the future it needs to be something different. So
Okay,
that would be helpful.
I can read it as a 2 as well, because it does say,
But some of the words will need to change, I think,
Okay.
under supervision, and it reads a little heavier, I think, than you intended it to be. Was
okay,
this written before, perhaps?
yes.
Is the title itself even still? Is it really a clerical role? It sounds like it's an assistant to, or, a backup to the manager, and perhaps
Well,
that's not
a
true.
lot of the tasks are, as I said, are very automated. So things that used to be much more complex have become simplified. But I anticipate that this individual, in the event of the absence of the business manager, would be able to take some of those roles,
Some
such
of
as
them.
final billing or things like that. I would not expect them to do the billing on their own,
Okay,
but some of the tasks within the office, I think that they would be able to accomplish fairly easily.
okay. So let's mark it a 2 and then see how it comes out for the rest of them.
so 2 is 10.
Supervision exercised.
No.
None.
One.
So 20.
Accountability.
On the bottom of page 1, under job environment. Did you find the wording for this area to be accurate as it currently reads?
Honestly, this is an area that Bill and I went back and forth on. I came up with a higher score than Bill did, simply because when you're doing billing, regardless in what facet, if you're doing billing incorrectly, that can be a real problem. So to me, the accountability is a little bit higher than what Bill put it at.
So the job description reads as you would expect it to for this. Okay.
Although if there was an error, it's error in billing, it isn't an error in service, correct? So you
True.
don't disrupt the service, you just
That's
disrupt
true.
the billing
That's true.
process.
That's true.
I would think it too. If it's just the billing process, not the service process.
I had
You had a what?
it at a
Four?
4. Bill had it at a 3.
We're at 2.
So it talks
So
about
it's
missed
3 middle
deadlines
ground?
and delay of service, and if it's just a billing error, that doesn't really delay service of financial waste.
That's true, but it does potentially result in excessive costs, because if we don't bill correctly, we have to put the money out to Leominster and Fitchburg, our supplier, regardless of how much we're bringing in. So if we're billing someone incorrectly and we are billing them too low, we're still paying a higher premium.
But you have a check and balance system. This is a more clerical end of it.
Yeah,
I would expect you as the manager to make
Mhm.
sure that those things are picked up, not the
Right.
clerk.
right, right.
That's why it's whose responsibility is it in the end?
I don't think the 3 fits either, in my opinion. I'm stuck at 2.
I thought it was true.
Yeah, I talking about it, I don't necessarily disagree with it too.
Because your oversight into that is really yours.
For your
Yeah.
role,
Yeah.
That's-
exactly. Yeah.
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 You agree
So I
too?
do too.
That is 20.
Judgments. Two.
That's where
2.
I'm at. Yeah, okay. 40.
No, we had that.
Yeah, I see them taking that way, so.
Complexity of position.
Maybe a 2, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's a 3. I would think a 2.
The only difference to me would be the complexity of the math that takes place to do the billing.
But it's
Is it
automated now.
automated?
To some degree. I wish it were more automated.
Okay.
Especially for final billing. You're prorating, you're adjusting numbers. The final billing is really the biggest issue. And there is a lot of that. So I think we put it both in a 3. right?
We did.
Yeah.
We did. And 3 says post-secondary level education, and that's what the job description has.
So we're still in complexity.
Mhm.
I don't know what post.
It says, there's a line in there that says equivalent to a post.
Oh, in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, underneath
It's,
this.
yeah, in degree 3.
Everybody all right with
Agree?
that?
Yes.
So 60.
I think I know them all by heart now. 8 is personal contact interactions. was thinking between a 2 to a 3, but that may be more of where your role comes
Yeah,
into
we
play.
put it as a 3 because if someone has a question on a bill, most likely they would be the initial contact, and then if it escalated, it would be your bill. But they would be the initial contact. So number 2 talks about really with just immediate coworkers and
Yep.
but they're brief and sometimes they're not brief.
Or routine.
Right, right. Every situation is always different.
Okay.
That's
I
fine.
can-
And 3.
Another 2.5. Was it personal contacts was 30.
Confidential information.
So they have access primarily to the billing that takes place, not anything else about the customer or their employee.
Sometimes we deal with bankruptcies, and we deal with some legal information up to the bankruptcy process, and this individual would be privy to that.
All right.
It does mention confidentiality of information on the second page. In the third paragraph. Well, actually, third page. Second piece of paper, third front to back. Paragraph, right there.
Right there.
Establishes and maintains
Just above.
departmental files, maintains confidentiality.
I see.
So let's see. Is it this one?
So then limit, I would say a degree 3 then, right? Limited
I'm at 2.
or moderate, you're at a 2.
Limited or is it
Moderate.
moderate?
We put it into.
Yeah.
At a 2. Okay.
Mhm.
40.
Occupational
This
hazards.
is usually the standard for office setting 2020.
Mhm.
The last 3.
One.
The physical demands,
Okay.
we have it as a 2, because the criteria says up to 35 pounds, and I think Paul can attest today that some of the files we have to move around are
Okay.
heavy.
So we need
Very
to change that then.
So let's,
Okay. So
let's make sure we're at 10 now. So it's 1. So confidential, the hazard is 1 or what?
So occupational hazards
We put
is
in
1.
Yeah,
Mhm.
1.
20, 20.
Yeah.
Work environment, typical office setting is also 20.
Last one that's.
And then the
physical
physical-
demands.
Says up to 20 and you're saying it would be up to like 35.
Right.
What did we put it at?
2.
Yeah.
Right,
we
because
had-
it says up to 35 pounds in degree 2.
So we had it at a 40. Just to give you an example, I moved 8 very large boxes today that were very, very heavy. And I would anticipate that this individual would be, there's a lot of that to do. So this individual would be doing that.
So that's a 2. So yeah, 40 points.
380.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right, that's right.
All right. So 380. Sorry, I'm slacking here. Is a 6. A new 6.
The new 6, which was an old 9. I think they're 3, right? 3 apart or 4? 3.
I can't even find my job description. It was an 8 before.
Mhm.
I was saying it's a 6, which we're squashing those first. So it might be a little bit higher
First.
even than what.
That's what I'm thinking. If
Yeah.
it's only 2 apart, then that means it's come up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving on.
You're good unless you want to hang out. I know you got somewhere to be at 6, so. All right, thanks.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, that's helpful.
Yes, thank you.
See you at 6.
All right, so
So reserve
Sally's
officers.
up. No, we're going out of order, going in order of job descriptions.
Oh, got it. Got it.
So request pending.
So we're
screening.
going, public safety.
Yes, and Sully's joining us remotely.
Yeah.
Sully? There he is. Hi. All right.
Little communication issue there. I'm on the road, so, but I think I got you.
Okay, we can hear you. All
Yes.
right, so this differs because this was a non-existing job description, so you have to approve the job description first and then read it.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
Oh,
so Chief, can we just confirm you are in agreement that this job description is accurate?
I have gone through the job description, both myself and my administrative assistant who's performing that role. And with a couple of minor changes that I unfortunately just had to send to Julie recently, yes, we're good. And the changes are very minor.
Okay, let me see if I can pull them up.
Are you guys hearing me?
Yeah, Julie's just trying to pull them up so we would know. Because I think in order for us to approve it, we would need to know
What's it?
sort of red line, what are we redlining and changing?
Right. Julie, it's what I just sent you probably maybe an hour ago or so, because we
Yeah.
lost all the network at the station, so I couldn't even get on it until I got home.
Okay, I see it in red under education experience and then under knowledge. Is that about it?
Yes, and yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Okay,
What's the difference?
so as we go through it, if you guys want to,
Well,
Read-
no, we have to approve it first. right?
Yes, in
Yeah.
order to approve it, I
You have to
need
tell us
the,
what it is.
did you already look at all the other
Well, tell us
material?
what the
yeah,
change
just tell us
is.
the changes.
yes,
and
changes.
we'll make
So
it-
Education and experience. After preferably in a public safety setting
Mhm.
or as a working firefighter and or emergency medical technician.
You know, again, I think having somebody that's got at least some experience in the emergency services field is,
Okay.
whether it's administrative or having worked as a firefighter or EMT, would be very beneficial.
All right.
That makes
That makes
sense.
sense.
Under additional requirements, scratching off class D.
I think that first line was a typo because that was trying to say driver's license.
Yeah,
So I think you could eliminate that. And then for strictly administrative assistant, they don't really need to be CPR or AED certified.
okay. So we can take that off.
And I think
Last,
under knowledge, I just added in that a new computer system that we're going to be taking on shortly that we're switching over to ESO. So I added that on there.
Is that the last sentence?
yeah, so Munis,
Yeah.
DTS, IMC, and ESO.
All right, that was it?
That was
Okay.
all I had.
Okay.
Yep.
Can I ask questions as we go?
Yeah.
Chief, this is Donna. This says, under, under contacts, under the job environment, it says contacts are in person, in writing, and by telephone and involve information exchange dialogue. Where it says in writing, I envision a written letter that appears somewhere. Is that not, it's more email? Is it electronic?
I mean, it would be email, but I mean, she also, we still have to send written correspondence. So she may be involved in typing things up, letters for me and that.
Yeah, but is email missing?
Oh, it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably should have email because, we do a lot of it I deal with, but she does do stuff on behalf of the department via email. So yeah, that may be just a typo that got missed.
So then contacts are in person, electronic, in writing, and by telephone, and involve information exchange dialogue?
Okay, yeah.
The word electronic instead of email.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, with the data, with Zoom and stuff like that. Yes.
Okay.
Good catch.
Yeah.
I'm trying to read it on a tablet that I just dropped on the ground and shattered the face on it, so it's a little tough.
Oh, no.
I only had the tablet for about 8 years.
Oh, no.
Whenever anybody feels ready and comfortable, if you would like to put forward a motion to approve the job description with the changes noted through the chief and Donna. If you are so moved.
Let Donna finish. This might just be a second.
Take that out. Under knowledge, ability, and skill. There's an M in the second sentence. Another good catch.
And under knowledge? or
Yep.
other-
Excel and database M, unless it meant to be management.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Thinking not, and then in the next paragraph under
I think it's
ability,
supposed to be period,
It could be.
yeah.
database period.
In
instead
the
of one.
last, under ability, on the last
Oh, yeah.
a
I see that
line,
space
you
at
see the
top.
ability, yep.
Yeah.
So, one question, the second paragraph on the second page, it talks about processing biweekly payroll entries and so on and so forth, maintaining leave accruals and things like that. And then further down, it says tracks overtime, holiday pay, education incentives, specialist pay, longevity and detail pay, maintains sick, vacation, injury, and personnel records. Those two things seem to be that they belong together, but they are way separated.
I would defer that to Julie as she rewrote that from HRT and that. I mean, the position performs all those functions. Basically, any administrative payroll stuff.
It's a bullet, like they
It's a
do
bullet,
this.
yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All set.
Thanks. Thanks, Chief.
Julie, is this kind of a one-person situation? It's only one person doing
Yeah.
all the
Mhm.
vote for the fight.
Yeah, no
So
assistant.
it kind of has everything packed in.
That M is supposed to be a comma.
I think it's supposed to be a period and like considerable knowledge of
Oh, gotcha.
starts, yeah.
So again, on the communication, ability to communicate effectively both verbally via phone, email, and in writing with coworkers and the public should, if somewhere in there should say electronic.
Okay.
Because back to what he said about Zoom,
Say that again, where are you?
the last paragraph on page 3, ability.
Yep.
It's somewhere in there. It says ability to communicate effectively both verbally via phone, email, and in writing with coworkers, public, elected officials. It needs to say electronic.
Rather than email?
Email could stay, but also other
It's
electronic.
inclusive.
Yeah,
And I would take out the both because you've listed more than two
Yeah.
ways to communicate. So you could just
Yeah.
say communicate effectively,
true.
Verbally.
Yes.
verbally, via phone, electronic,
Electronically.
electronically,
and in writing, yeah.
via email and in writing.
So that might be something we want to do.
Yes, watch for the others.
In front of the word ability, that last
Yeah,
sentence.
we got that extra
Okay.
dot
Yeah.
in space, yeah.
Missing a period after, under skills, after
Yep, I
superior
see it.
administrator.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I make a recommendation that we accept the job description as amended here at the meeting.
Second,
With all the,
Mhm.
with all the amendments. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
So we now have an
That's where we can
approved
write.
public safety head clerk coordinator.
Is this
Job description.
is this a correction to what exists, or is this a
No,
brand
it's
new
the
one that never existed?
Exactly, the latter.
Because it needs a different kind of paper.
Brand new.
But it does have, so it has a current grade though. in the-
Yes,
Okay,
Wasn't an SAP before. In
it's
this
in the
way.
SAP, just
It's in-
didn't have a job description. It had a very
Ah.
old
So it
form,
wasn't-
a different title and everything, so.
okay.
All right, here we go.
Shall we rate?
Let's rate. 1, knowledge, training, and education.
Associates.
Associate, so that would bring it to degree 3. Yes.
60.
Level of experience. This is calling 3 to 5, so that brings it to a degree 3.
That's a 30.
Supervision received. Okay, so based on the first sentence here, works under general supervision of the fire chief's standard assignments and daily duties. And that's exactly how degree 3 reads.
Yep.
Imagine that.
Please good for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it should be.
Right.
Well, how many
That's what I
points
would
Oh,
was
like.
3 for super, that's 15. Sally, are you following along with us?
I am listening, yep.
Okay, if you think we're,
Off, please.
yeah,
No, I mean, I don't have the manual to follow along, but yeah, the position is a general supervision position.
yeah, okay, thank you.
So supervision exercised.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like there is any.
Except
Currently, no. I mean, we don't have another clerk position.
So 20.
So that's, yeah, degree 1. Accountability.
yeah, 3 or 4.
Certainly, the position is responsible for, like, not only payroll, purchasing, but dealing with grants, reimbursements on grants. That again, those kind of things. If they get screwed up, it can be bad.
Yep.
4.
Yeah, I don't see anything in 5 that would
No.
warrant them going to a 5, so.
Do you think the errors would be difficult to detect?
Speaking from experience, sometimes yes, they can be.
I bet.
Mm.
I'm okay with 4.
4
Yeah, 4.
is 40.
Judgment. Standard judgment.
Yeah, I was gonna say standard. judgment.
3.
60.
All right. We've got complexity of position next.
Oh, understatement of duties says performs complex administrative clerical work. So,
I think we need to go to like degree 3 because it
That's
also
what I'm
says post-secondary level education.
Yeah.
Yep.
Agree.
complexity is 60.
Single position.
Personal contact and interactions.
Obviously, she's the kind of the greeter or the initial face of the department. So there's a high level of interaction with public, other officials, stuff like that.
Right, as it says in the job description, you know, referrals to other offices and agencies as appropriate.
Maybe a 3.
Yeah,
Kind of slides into 3 because of the nature of the
Yeah,
group.
yeah,
we go higher.
right. And that one does discuss liaison with other organizations,
Right.
individuals. So,
So that is 30.
great.
Lots of confidential information.
Confidential information.
Lots of that.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah,
can be high.
significant or substantial.
Like what? What kind of confidential information? Payroll,
Should do ambulance billing.
billing.
Payroll, yeah, ambulance billing, so you're falling under HIPAA there.
All right.
And deals with scheduling the physicals for firefighters, doing
Yeah.
paperwork for me as far as,
More
you
than
know,
most.
investigations or
Four?
if, you know, we got as far as a disciplinary action or something like that.
Let's see, three is good. Position includes access to.
A high three or a low four. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
I'm
which.
trying to figure.
Yeah,
I would
I'm
say
at a three.
significant amount is the words that do it.
Yeah.
for me.
Mhm.
Can I read it to him and see?
would, Chief, would you say, because the difference between a degree 3 and a degree 4, one of the key words is access includes moderate amount of confidential information or significant amount?
I would say a significant amount between payroll, filing like inspection reports, violations on properties, things like that. Obviously the HIPAA is a big thing, for the, you know, the ambulance billing, and that she's, you know, that position seeing the EMS reports that go through as they go out. So seeing, yeah, no, a not insignificant amount of information.
Yeah,
I
I
would
think
say we leave it at four and see. if
4,
it
yeah, see if it
spills
makes a
to be-
difference. Yeah. Yep. Next is occupational hazards.
1 second.
80.
Thank you.
One thing at a time, right?
It's pretty standard.
Is this mostly in the office?
Yeah.
Yeah. A 1.
So then a
Typical
1.
busy fire station office conditions with normal interruptions, normal loud noise.
Yeah.
1.
1.
So 20.
Work environment.
Typical office conditions. Yeah, I'd say that's also a 1. Not, yeah. Position's not ideal.
Work environment's a little bit worse than a regular office, only because of, you know, the interruptions of a fire station, stuff like that, but generally not too much worse.
Up to 30 pounds.
Oh, did you say 1 on work environment? 20.
Yeah.
And then up to 30 is
Up to 30 would be a degree 2.
2. Yeah. 40.
That was 75.
That is a 7.
7, which is the old 10.
And going
Which is
down
where
to
it
a 3
was.
on the other one wouldn't matter.
What's the breaking point of that one?
495.
Oh, so that wouldn't have changed it.
Yeah.
Right.
So that makes sense. That sounds like it's
Yep.
right
Yep.
on at 10.
Yep.
All right, Sally.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And there's 1. Closer. All right. So the reserve officer, last time there was a slight revision and we were both trying to reflect on the minutes and remember what happened on June 6th of this year. But I think after talking, it was just the special requirements, which was the update from the June 6th job description. And I know we had discussed having the last sentence successfully complete 2,400 hours of patrol related duties by 2027, whether to keep that in or take it out once we hit 2027, because then it's just going to be, you have
Yep.
to have had it by then.
Is this just a job description change?
This was a revision and we
update.
didn't rate it because we needed to revise
But
that.
are we doing? No, okay. Good, because I can't find it.
What do we?
We're not
She wanted to
doing the
know
gr-
whether it was like the,
We're not doing the scoring on this job.
Yes,
Is
we
that
are.
right?
We're gonna
Yeah.
rate it too.
we are gonna rate it,
But
she just had to amend it from the last time we saw her. We didn't rate it the last time.
but
Right.
it's not in it. That's my point. It's not in.
Oh, it's not in your numbers.
Yeah, it's not in the, unless it's called something different.
Should be reserved. I would just add a line, put
Yeah,
that
I'm
it's
gonna add one
currently
to the
at
bottom.
a 10.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not there.
Oh. It's because it's called reserve officer.
Yeah.
Police is not in the word, in the description, I mean, the
okay.
title. So I couldn't find
Oh,
it.
and your
Searching
title
for
has police and here it doesn't.
And, right,
I gotcha.
Do you think you should amend that to say reserve police officer?
I'm changing this table.
I feel like saying reports to chief of police and the department being police covers that. Do you feel more comfortable with,
I have written down
Oh, but-
patrol officer.
it's not reserved.
But so I have a question. You see here, reserve police officer,
Ah,
but it's not here.
inconsistent.
It's inconsistent.
So what do you recommend?
That the job title probably should say
Reserve police? Okay. All right. Now, does that match? The
Well,
spreadsheet?
I changed it in the spreadsheet,
Okay.
so that it says reserve police officer.
Just a note, like for town meeting votes for the grid, like those little changes are gonna help. That has to be part of
We'll have to
the town meeting
state it.
vote.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because it's gonna affect the job titles in Munis too. That'll have to be updated.
This does, we noticed that thought it did say reserve police
Oh,
officer.
you think it does?
I think so.
But our salary,
I think
grid, I don't
I think I have it as the code. If I remember correctly.
our classification schedule just says reserve officer, so it will need to be updated.
All right, then if we are moving on to classification.
Would you
uh,
approve?
Oh,
We didn't.
we did not. I'll take a motion to approve the job description with the amendment to the title.
So,
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
So number one is knowledge, training, and education.
That's
It's-
rated as a 4 based on the special requirements for the training.
Then I feel like that's a big difference from the way it reads currently. I don't know how you guys feel.
It's preferred that you have an associate's degree, and if you add the amount of training that's on the special requirements,
Okay.
I think you're reaching that level.
but maybe we should make a note that the description should change. Because it really just says that, you know, associate's degree in criminal justice
Is
and a high
preferred.
school, right,
Yeah.
preferred, but the. wait a minute.
No, that's just a,
If you go down to the special.
Oh, I see what you're
requirements,
saying. You're saying-
looking at,
yes,
It's the equivalent of a bachelor,
Correct.
add
Okay.
all that in, it's equivalent. to
right,
bachelor.
and then you add 860 something hours of
All
training. Plus
Okay,
you have
makes
to
sense.
maintain.
Yep.
That
sense.
makes sense. So
Yep.
then
4.
a degree 4.
80.
Level of experience.
Minimum of 2 years. So that's a 2.
That's very true.
20.
Supervision received.
One.
As it reads, yes, it reads
Yeah.
a straight 1. but I don't know that that's
Well, I
accurate.
think it's the word direct.
Direct that
But
is.
if they're off on their own for the evening, then, or the day, then they're being overseen by the sergeant. But they're on their own,
Maybe we need to add general.
so they have to have,
By policy, we can't do that. By accreditation, they're under direct supervision, whether it's an officer in charge, sergeant, lieutenant, myself. There is, and by contract, we have an OIC now. So somebody's under direct supervision.
so,
When it is.
So 10. Nope, I'm lying to you. 5.
Supervision exercised.
20.
Accountability.
So this is, for me, this is tough because a lot of the description you have in here, it doesn't really apply to what we're talking about. But the accountability level in a police officer or reserve police officer is pretty high.
Yeah.
I mean, they're talking about errors could cost the town quite a bit of money, cost somebody their life. So it's one of those things that but when you read it, I mean, you get to number 7, substantial, these are talking about managerial positions. So that's, for me, it's hard to decipher that.
I think because in the first, where we gave them low marks,
Yes.
because they had to be overseen so clearly.
Yep.
This is kind of where they gain some points.
Yep.
Because
Agreed.
they're on their own and do have, even though they have direct supervision,
They have
They have
people's
to-
lives in their
it's right then
hands.
there.
You think about a 6.
I'm thinking of 6.
Because 7 is that.
7 is,
managerial.
yeah.
So I think what we should do to clarify in here is add that level of accountability in here, like the wording.
Oh, add to
Somehow.
the job description.
Yeah, that's clear. So that's another amendment to this description.
Then we're gonna have to vote again. If we're keeping.
Well, we'll have to do some work on it. Won't do it tonight, though, I don't
Right.
think. We just make a note that we need to improve unless you already know what you want to write.
I don't think we reapproved Sully's actually. Oh no, that all came out before.
We
Yeah,
came up before.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't seen it.
but
This one we've seen a couple of times, but not really voted on.
maybe just approve it tonight.
Yeah, it's just a number.
So what
Where's
is the
it gonna
So
addition?
to
Where?
reflect the language of degree
know.
6 for accountability.
We just need to find us where it belongs.
Or you're not comfortable with
So perhaps it's the last sentence. Errors in work can be difficult to detect and can result in. If we're gonna take something,
But where's it going on here, though?
I would,
Where did-
I would put
The
it
rest of them fall-
supervision.
Yeah, the rest of them fall into job environment. That's just where it is right now. So it'd be
I
consistent.
would say under supervision, because the accountability part of it is you're accountable to the supervisor yourself.
right?
That's those lines would I think apply there.
Julie, you're saying for consistency.
Yeah, it's under job environment.
the rest-
Oh,
Yeah.
to
rest of
other.
job
Yep.
descriptions have it.
So that when you look, I get it.
Okay,
Okay.
So where is it gonna go and what is it gonna say? Because we're gonna approve it, right?
So put it just for consistency purposes under job environment. I believe it's the last paragraph. Yep. And the other job descriptions.
So after where it says reserve officers have access to department related confidential
It'll be
information,
a
so
whole
it's
new
going,
paragraph. Yeah.
it's,
Okay. And what will it say? Is there another one I should look at so I can see the wording?
In the rating manual, degree 6.
6s.
I'm sorry?
In the rating manual, degree 6,
No.
that language.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So that's kind of the future goal, I think, is to make it really cut and clear, crystal clear when creating job descriptions, like what is the level of
So you
responsibility
use the
throughout.
full thing for degree 6?
You can, yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I agree with you. Because the next time you do this, you want to be able to say, it is clearly
Yes.
a 6.
Yes,
right.
and that's, the long-term goal is to get everything in sync, so it's just
Perfect.
Okay, good.
So what's the,
So 6 on accountability is 60.
I move, you're gonna look for that next, right? I move that we amend the job description to include degree 6 under accountability to fall under job environment, last paragraph in the job description.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm writing these questions again. Sue's like, come on. Give me a break.
And you were an I, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are now officially approved on the amended
Yeah.
description.
Amended.
Amended.
Right,
So,
judgment.
judgment.
Well,
Well.
Four?
4 is what I was thinking too.
What did you have?
Yeah.
Did you have 4? Okay.
I just think we get up to that 5 level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's 23. Judgment. So 4 is 80.
Complexity of position. Five.
Yeah, that's where I was. Is that what you had too?
I had 4.
4.
The
It's a
only
high,
reason-
Interesting.
there's a high 4 or a
Yeah.
low 5.
The only reason I'm saying that is has varied managerial duties, including planning, and that's. what
Yeah,
falls
that's
Yep.
fine.
Right.
Okay.
Good
Okay.
call.
Yeah. Good call.
80.
Contact. Personal contact.
Pretty high.
Yeah.
6.
That's significantly complex.
Um,
6 or 7, but I'm feeling like 6. Did you have a 6 or did you have a 7?
and 5.
Oh, fine.
Is that because they would call in
Well,
if it got,
analyze, present information, make recommendations for actions to senior staff or policymakers, negotiate and achieve compromises. Again, I think you're talking managerial levels when you're talking about 6 and 7. So when I'm looking at these, it's hard to define it under a reserve
Yeah.
officer type
Yeah.
of status. Could they be involved in something like that if I assign them something? Possibly, but that would usually fall under a full-time officer.
Not frequent.
I think because they picked up points in other areas that makes sense that this particular area would carry heavy.
Right. So 50 is a 5.
Confidential is next. And
Then agree this is high.
This is pretty high.
Yeah.
a 4.
I was initially gonna say 5, but
But
it's
the way the
5
5 is written here, yeah.
it's managerial, administrative
Yeah.
type of thing,
Yep.
but 4 is that disclosure of the confidential information.
So 4 is also 80.
And occupational hazards.
Uh,
Degree 5. I mean,
Yeah, that's-
I would think.
yeah. Work environment.
5 is 100.
Thank you.
Yes.
A 4 or 5 here, but
5.
5, yeah. Use of protected, but yeah.
100. Up to 60 pounds.
60 pounds puts it at a 4,
I would-
but you would, but
I would put that higher
High.
because you're actually required, you know, if I have to drag somebody, the average weight of somebody.
right, that's way
It's
more.
not 60. It's
Yeah.
not toddler weight.
Remind me to talk to that toddler because there is some lineman position that you're looking for.
So degree 5 then.
So I'm going to change that in the description as well then to reflect up to, and
think
75
we-
pounds is what.
When we initially talked about that too, I think that was kind of the generic weight to put that.
Yeah. Okay, so that last one, what did we say? I'm sorry, 5 is also 100.
Yeah, that's
775.
That is a new 11. So that's gone
that's definitely
way up.
Can you see
significant
what
change.
the, we did the other, didn't we do like the police? roles before, which is kind of
Yeah.
curious how they-
Oh, yeah. So currently a 10. So it's gone up about 3 grades.
Yeah.
Okay. And just as a reminder, nothing's set in stone.
Nothing is
It's
set,
strictly an
yes.
exercise.
340. That's it.
There's only
It's
the
only the
one.
chief and
That's all we've done.
that's
Yeah.
all we've done.
I was curious. if
That's
we've
the only
done any
ones that are
others
even in the.
close.
in the
Because-
list.
Okay. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Moving right along.
it's still light out.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Have a nice night, everybody.
Good
Bye,
night.
Chief. Executive assistant to the town manager and workforce.
So this is also a newly created job description.
So here we go.
There we go.
So first we have to approve the,
Yeah, so I'm just reading over to.
this town still use fax.
Well,
They do.
I was gonna say you never do. I
I-
don't know. Every once in a while.
Every once in a while, but it's
It's
pretty rare.
rare.
If you don't have secure email, then
it's rare. There's
So you
something.
think the phone line is way secure?
well, when you're faxing anything
I
financial,
suppose,
that's
yes,
what if
that's
you don't
true.
have secure
Yeah,
email,
that's
they
true.
want it in fax.
You're right.
I
Which is
fully
all
agree.
I'm always squirrely about. It's like, do I have the phone number right? Where is this coming out? It's just like showing up on some printer somewhere.
It's rare.
What do they do to manage the water billing? What does that entail?
It's a quarterly billing. There's, I think, 8 different accounts because we have a small town water department in the Summer Street area. So it's a limited billing.
So someone gives you information and she just prepares the billing? Is that? kinda-
It's doing the commitments for those water commitments. So it's through Munis and I'm
Is it
making
something
sure
that's
those-
complex or pretty standard?
I think moderately complex.
Okay.
Because it's not done every day either, so it's,
Quarterly, yes.
yes.
I didn't know we had a parking clerk.
Yes.
Is the parking clerk someone else also? Do they wear multiple hats or?
Uh,
Just for curious. Oh, it's you.
yeah, so if there's a hearing requested or appeal for parking ticket,
You have to go.
they have to come and, yeah,
Plead their case.
I think it's happened once and the whole time I've been.
I'm gonna make a minor edit here, see. It says coordinates public records request serves as town of Lunenburg parking. Those are two different things.
There's a period there. Coordinates.
I know, but
public
shouldn't it be
service.
like it's online? I feel like they should be, if it's on the
Oh,
same.
well,
You okay with
I
it?
don't
Okay.
know.
It's not.
So, I think there's a space missing under job environment, the last sentence, those last 3 words. Standard office, or is it just, like, as I'm looking at it, there is a space there, but. I'm
Oh,
not
geez,
seeing
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Is it 1 word in this or 2?
It actually, I think it's a space, and I think it's just
Oh,
funky.
it's just
I
really
think it's how
small.
it's justified.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also under job environment,
Mhm.
contacts are in person, writing, email, electronic.
Um, I don't know, what kind of word is it?
You see it?
Yeah, now I see it. So I'm replacing email with electronic.
So then just one other sort of, total nit, I'm sorry.
I like it.
Can't help it.
I like
But
it.
like the state, federal, those words, they should be capitalized. So in the statement of duties, the very first paragraph, the last sentence, compliance with local, state and federal, like they're proper nouns, right?
Below that, they are done that way.
Yeah, that, and
Yeah,
that
it should
sort
be
of when I
consistent.
started like
Should
doing
be.
this whole project, right, I was like getting all caught up in the fact that I was like,
Should we put about having to catch birds too? Dedicated bird catcher.
You have bird problems?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, because they come in
They
through.
come in through the attic. and come in
Find
through
their way
office
down.
space.
Squirrels. Oh, yeah.
Squirrels, we had squirrels in the meeting room.
One, yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah, so she uses my shawl that has holes like that and then
Oh.
catches the birds. Yep. Lets it go up this fire escape.
Add that to the job description.
Yeah.
That's hazard pay.
I was
isn't it?
gonna say, can make it happen.
What are we gonna do when she retires? I'm not catching birds.
Kara.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's finish that. Do we still have a lot of openings that we are finding it difficult to fill? Yes. Or is it getting better? Still hard. My friends in other municipalities are saying the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Just
Well, we're all fighting for like the
all thanks
same.
for this limited resources.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people retiring.
Those that were dedicated and committed to being in one location and now is
It's less.
Yes, a lot of folks are looking to, how do you level up?
Move around.
And that's different in
I'm
the
not gonna stay
municipal
there
world.
10 years anymore.
Do we have any presence on social media?
Yeah.
Do we have a Facebook page?
Yeah.
We have a Facebook and Instagram page.
So then, does this person maintain those too?
No, that's the,
Admin
one of the
assistant
positions
IT.
we did last time, the IT administrative assistant.
Does that? Okay, so then under central functions, where it says, it's like, I don't know, a little bit more than halfway down, 2 sentences in this bullet.
Mhm.
Maintain certain pages, should say web pages. On the town website and town manager and select board web page. Because it's not a social media page.
Maintains what, Donna, say that again, maintains.
Web, maintains, see this,
Oh, you're down. further.
maintains certain web
Yep.
pages,
Okay,
should
got
just say web. And then at the end of that sentence, right before, after
Yep.
select board, should say web page.
Correct an email right now under ability and put
Hmm.
electronically.
Thank you.
And there's an extra dot again.
This is like the only job description I've ever seen Corey mentioned.
So this position can run for it.
Got it. Thank you. What's ABCC?
Alcohol Beverage Control Commission.
Thank you. Under ability, knowledge, ability, and skill.
Extra period.
No, missing the word electronic. So substitute email or
Yeah,
add
I
it
did.
to email.
There is an extra.
And there is an
period
extra
halfway.
period.
I get
I
both
didn't
of
get
those.
to that yet.
Got it.
Is 30 pounds accurate?
And birds weigh maybe a pound, so.
I think
I think on a
it-
regular
yeah.
basis, yeah, anything heavier than that would
Yeah.
probably put in a
something.
ticket, have facilities.
Good. Move to approve the executive assistant to the town manager and select board as amended during this discussion.
I second. All in favor?
Aye. Sorry not to lose your thought. Are you an aye?
I said I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
And I am an
was
aye
trying to
as
save
well.
time.
So we have now approved and amended.
Amended and approved.
Amended and approved. Amended and approved. The executive assistant to town manager and select board. Now we can go ahead and classify. So we have knowledge, training, and education.
Two.
3.
Oh, three.
I'm thinking 3. It says preferred in it.
But equivalent to high school and additional training equal to 1 or 2 years.
I had 3.
You had 3.
Yeah.
3.
That's 60.
Level of experience.
3 to 5 years.
This is a 3 to 5, so that would be a degree 3.
3.
30.
Supervision received.
Two.
That's right.
No.
In here, general.
Yeah, that word general supervision, right?
Yeah, 2.
3.
You had 3.
I had 3.
Three would indicate that they are expected to take some of their own action to make sure that they
Mhm.
handle things right, that you're not always. 2 would be if everything went
Right.
back to the boss.
Right.
Probably.
Which, well, I mean, with
It
her
would.
access, yeah.
Right.
It's word for word.
Hmm?
It says word for word for 3. So 15.
Supervision exercised.
None.
20.
1.
Accountability.
I had a 3.
I'm at a
Yeah, I
3
was
too.
gonna say that the only thing that would push me away from a 2 and toward a 3 is that they have to maintain the web pages, and that could be difficult to detect at first. Right, if there's a
Or the water
It
billing.
is the board.
or the bill.
Yeah, the billing.
Or the
It
bill.
is the
The billing.
board
there's,
too, select board.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's public hearing processes that need to
Yep.
be
That makes sense.
follow.
Yep.
what's general law on
Mhm.
timing.
Yeah, yeah.
Makes sense.
So 3.
30.
Judgment. Thinking standard judgment here.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Is that what you have?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
sorry.
You looked at me for a second. I
No.
was like, I was just wondering if you had
I was
something
waiting for
different.
Joy to say the number.
60.
Yes.
Complexity,
Okay.
complexity. of
She's too
supervision.
used to this.
Yeah. Complexity. In 3 to 4 somewhere in there.
I think 3,
Mhm.
unless it's something I'm not
The
seeing.
4.
No, it's at
Oh.
3.
That's what I had.
A 3.
60.
Personal contact interactions.
Frequent contact with general public and other town departments, state federal agencies, in person, writing, electronic.
3.
I would say
I would
3.
say 3.
3.
Is there anything about the job that would be more than a 3?
Yeah, I had 3. I was rereading to see the difference between 3 and 4.
May analyze and present information and make recommendations for actions to senior staff. That's the big difference in 4, which is why I was like,
Right.
Well, and there's contacts involved assisting and advising others.
Right.
relating it, And that's not in 3.
Yeah, that does really happen that way.
Yep, is that right?
Does happen. Like on special projects, if I were to ask this position to look into, you know, quoting out a certain product or I think of this situation, like recently we're looking at billing machine for postage. And she, you know, soliciting information for that and presenting it to me.
I think the difference is, does it happen more frequently or?
Yeah, I guess infrequent, like not.
Let's asterisk that, and it's a difference
I
of
was just gonna
20,
say.
and probably start with a 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so 60, and we'll just make a
See
mental
if
note.
it makes a difference.
Depends one way or the other.
Confidential information.
I think they have a lot.
Yeah.
Department related confidential executive session and collective bargaining info.
That's pretty
Significant.
significant. That's what I'm thinking
For?
for,
Yeah.
but
Today, no, never mind. It's in both.
It's, I mean, this one is hard because it includes supervisory and managerial. But there
right.
is-
So you had 3.
it's just- I would put it more towards 3.
3.
4.
Okay.
And even that 3 includes supervisory and managerial.
Do you want to go with the 3 and see where it lands us?
Yeah.
Okay.
60.
Occupational hazards,
1.
1.
Yeah, outside of the birds and squirrels.
Work environment.
20.
Work environment is a 20 as well. Typical office
Yes.
positions prevail. And physical demands.
Oh,
20.
pounds.
It
Yeah.
says, so is it a degree 2 because they might have to lift up to 30?
15 to 30.
Okay.
Oh, degree 2? Okay. That's 40 then.
475.
475 is a 7.
Which it was a 10, so that's
Right.
probably about right.
Is it on the cusp of anything?
Yeah.
495, that's the 20, but this is right in.
So we went with a 3.
8 and 9.
There was a couple that were,
8 and 9 were the 2 questions.
yeah. What, and what's the difference in
We put
points?
3.
20, I think, both ways.
Oh, 20 both ways.
I think so. So
So-
8,
Bumped it.
we were toggling between a degree 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Personal contact and interaction.
Yeah.
Slightly more complex versus moderately complex.
So we would have gone down in that one, right?
So we gave it a 3,
We
right?
gave it a 3.
So go up.
Yeah, they both would have gone up.
They both
Personal
would have gone up.
contacts, if it was I'm sorry, that would be a difference of 10 points.
Uh,
So that'd be
So we went up
485.
Well, if we gave both, then
Well,
it would be 5. Then
And
it would
9
be
was the confidential
495.
information.
This is 475.
Plus 10.
475, it would be 485. And then if we did the higher degree for confidential info,
10 more.
that's a difference of 20.
Yeah,
so we would be over into the next if both went.
it would be 505. Yeah.
That would be an 8.
Do you have a sense of that?
It's, yeah, again, it relates to that wording that's, it's hard to. I mean, it's a highly public interfacing position.
This isn't the person who's the clerk for the board. You have another clerk for the board, don't you?
No,
Mm.
this position takes the minutes. for
This
the
position
select
does take
board
the
as
minutes for
well.
the select board.
Handles all the licensing. Yeah, all day to day.
So that was the only two areas that we were off
Yeah.
personnel.
Those two.
Confidential, yeah. I think I'm stuck at a 3 under confidential info.
It talks about developing policies. I don't think this person does that in 4.
No.
So I think 3 is for confidential. It kind of stands at 3, but
Okay.
I
Okay.
think it goes all beyond what it's intended to be if we went to 4.
Okay.
In the contracts, if we did that, what did I say? That was only 10 points.
Yeah,
So that
So it
doesn't
wouldn't have-
matter.
Wouldn't change it.
wouldn't have changed it. So.
Because I could be convinced to go to a 4, but it's not gonna matter.
This person, 4 is serves as a spokesperson to media. They wouldn't do that. She wouldn't do that.
Usually those are proposed to me. She would be answering, those calls. So knowing what the appropriate response would be at times, fielding just general calls from residents.
And then the other, I think, changing issue would be they analyze and present information and make recommendations to the senior staff. I don't see this role doing
Well,
that.
she gave us the example where, but it was kind of an outlying example. A rarity versus a
Right.
norm.
So seems to fit more soundly as a 3.
Probably on the day to day.
Doesn't change the points
It doesn't,
anyway.
right. So it's still solidly in 7. Which has it as the scale, that's the new 7.
Yep.
Which would put it in the same grade it was in the old.
Yep.
Got it.
All right. The other description for tonight was pack manager, but we are going to pass over that tonight.
Okay.
And come back to it at a later date. So that rounds out our job description review and rating for tonight. So I think then the next discussion to have is our next steps once we get through rating all the SAP positions, because we're starting to get toward completion with that. So next steps.
It would seem as though that it's taking the spreadsheets that we've been plotting and then starting to dissect those a little bit to see where the outliers show. And we've had great participation by the leaders and directors so that we know we're pretty close, except for those ones that will show themselves. And then I think we'll have to take those each as they come and explore why and what's different about them. And
Right. And possibly result in reclassifying
correct,
the positions.
correct.
And we have to also think about salary study to prep a new grid, which was part of the initial proposal.
So I think the most important thing is we've got to have this done for March 15th, 18th, whatever. Well, I mean, in order to go to FinCom, in order to get on the warrant, like we can't have yet another year where we don't make it. So and maybe this is another to come back onto our agenda at next meeting potentially, but do we want to set a more, concrete timeline? Say by, December 15th, or, by our second, the second meeting we have in December, we will have X done by,
I feel like we've tried that before and it's a matter of
I know,
people showing up.
I know.
It's really a matter of. we are
Unfortunately,
the
I think that's
volunteers,
great.
and we
I
do the best
mean,
that we can.
Yeah.
But
I think we'll just,
I don't think, it's not for lack of not wanting to do it. It is just lack of being able to accomplish it and
Did we finish the jobs or do we still have a few more?
just the PAC manager is the
that's
only
the
one.
last one.
That's it? Okay, I
then-
thought we had a few more.
So that's why I
No.
said, well, what's our next step? Because we're
Yeah.
done.
So it's dissection of, so it's looking at crunching those numbers.
So if you can send that
Yeah, I will.
spreadsheet to me and then I can bring those to the next meeting, the ones that are highlighted, which was nice. She has them nice and highlighted in yellow, makes it easy to identify.
And I'm not sure I grabbed all of the ones that should be highlighted, but definitely ones that we said, oh, that's an outlier.
Yeah.
So I did do
Yeah.
those, but it does require us to just kind of look at it.
Well, and
make
also
sure.
looking at the ones that are so disparate.
Yeah.
Disparate
Yes.
from the last time.
Yeah.
Yes, because we had a few of
And or
those
they're
too.
sitting so right on the cusp and take a second look at why are they sitting so high in the cusp or.
And some you might just look at it and be like, even though it rated higher, but it doesn't make
Correct.
sense logically, like why that would
We've
be
had a few of those
rated
too.
with a
Right.
certain position. So take a peek at those. So I think that's what would be the next step.
Yep.
With the next meeting, depending how many there are. So you're essentially going to be doing almost the same process, but now identifying, digging a little bit deeper.
Yep. Nice that we're done just about.
So what are you gonna do with it next, June? What are you gonna do with the spreadsheet next?
After we,
Well, I'm gonna send it to you right now,
yeah,
and then we'll get together again.
Well, could you send to all of us? Because
Yeah, I
we
probably
all
can.
can look at it from a different perspective if we
We're
have
not
time.
violating anything if I do that, right?
No, it's ours.
no. And what's great is that it has the current rating, our exercised rating, and then the consultant's suggested
Yep.
grade as well. But the next step would be to identify those that aren't, or that, or
They need more scrutiny.
Yeah.
maybe.
then we gotta look at them.
Okay. I do think once we look at that and see how many there are of those and what that needs, it'll allow us to build a better forward plan.
Plan, right?
If we have 5 or we have
Mm.
15.
Right. No, that's very, very true.
Based on what you have right now, does it look like a handful or two?
Yeah, what's the question?
How many
are the
outliers, right?
Oh, how many out?
Approximately.
I think we had just 3 or 4 when we first started that we knew were outliers.
The ones that are highlighted, there's 9 of them.
I was gonna
Nine.
say 7 or
Okay, so
8.
that's gonna be a couple of meetings.
But I didn't highlight, I did not highlight the sewer manager. So confused about that because we actually had what Paula and Bill
Bill.
came
The
up
rating
with.
was the
The
same?
rating was the same, so I was like, I'm not sure.
Did he redo the job? after he
Not
came
yet.
on? Did he plan to? There was an indication that he might have felt as though the job description didn't fully represent what he felt. as
Well,
though the
that's
job was.
true, because the job has changed.
That's how they kind of represented it.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers are unusual because they did sound the same, but it could have been just the difference of our old numbering system and the new numbering.
I
system.
think that's where there's a disconnect out there for people, is realizing that they're seeing that's 3 lower than
Right.
it
Yes.
was, but wait a
knew
second,
we
that's
had-
actually the same.
Yeah,
We're dropping 3 grades.
right.
And it might drop even further. I mean, the goal was to reduce 20 grades to something more reasonable that made sense, which is ultimately we're now down to 16. And the top levels, we don't have any positions in that. That's more for the contracted positions.
But I think the other thing that has to go hand in hand for employees, because you can understand a feeling of frustration or being upset, like feeling like, someone is valuing what they do less potentially
Mhm.
by
It's a-
changing
it's
that number, is to
perception.
see a monetary number attached with it. I think that makes it easier to digest. Okay, we just redid this grid a little bit.
Mhm.
And
It's,
as
oh,
far-
that's the same pay rate, or everybody, or my position is now a few, a little tiny bit more.
And
or-
this is what the consultant had said. Someone's
Right.
gonna say, hey, I was a grade 10 before, now I'm a 6. They're gonna look at it as they're being downgraded, even though the range is going to be the
But they're
same
not
or.
seeing they're not seeing the counterpart
Right.
in terms of a salary grid
Correct.
with
Right.
it, with numbers. And I think that's the
And that's
part
why
that's
the email
hard.
said nobody's going to go down in rate of pay.
In bold.
So it's, you know,
Yep.
to kind of justify the current rating where there wasn't a rating system before. And for the most part, positions are where they need to be. So there's a few that were identified through this exercise that may need to be reclassed, or we just need to look at it.
And that's the piece where we need, employees to also be active partners with this. Did everybody really take a good look at their job description? If they saw things that weren't accurate, or in the last handful of months, there are general responsibilities that now are theirs
Mhm.
fully, are they, working with their supervisor to say, these need to be part of this because it truly could affect.
And I think it's important to understand where the weight comes from in this. It's not so much the essential functions that essentially breaks down the areas that we're rating. So that should be highlighted in a different section of the job description. And then just some bullet points of what a day-to-day workday might be in this or in that position. But overall, that should be summarized in another section of the job description, those functions, that level of responsibility or complexity.
Then I guess our next step at this point, will be scheduling our next meeting.
Yeah, and we're looking at hopefully.
Are we
can't
trying
do
to do,
the
are we trying to do a Tuesday or Wednesday? I know.
I mean, Tuesdays are harder, like you said,
For
for the employees, because they work till 6.
They do, and that's not,
Unfortunately, I cannot do the 11th or the 18th, which are 2 Wednesdays in a row.
could Joanna not do every Monday
I feel like that was the day.
that she?
But
could
then I
not?
feel like she said she got an assistant that might be, I'm not sure. Can send out a,
Well, do we want to choose 2 dates?
I can't do the 11th.
Okay, yeah, I mean.
that's a Wednesday. Yeah. If Tuesdays work, at least maybe for one more, we're looking at the 10th or the 17th.
I'm traveling the 3rd to the 11th.
Okay, so
17th.
17th.
Because I think Joanna would have been here tonight if it weren't for the election.
That's what it sounded like to me.
So why don't we see if we can do the 17th?
Shoot for that. 5 or 6.
Well, if we're going with a Tuesday, then we should do 6, I would think.
Oh, good, thank you. I wanted to do 6, but I was like,
Well, if employees want to be present, their workday doesn't end until 6, so.
Trouble with that one.
Yeah.
It says
Select board.
night.
Yeah. So in terms of getting a Zoom link, we won't be able to.
Oh, she's the PAC, she's representing the PAC manager.
Right. oh.
That's why I'm not, sorry, I'm not even thinking of that.
Kind of key.
Well, how's the 25th? I mean,
Wait,
here's,
question, could you do like 5:30 with a quick, if
Yeah.
you were at the top, if you were at the top?
Yeah.
Could we do
5:30
5?
to 6, and that would be fine. I can make it
Could
work.
you do 5:30?
I can make it work.
I was gonna say, if the 18th works, I would be able to make a 6 o'clock. I might have to be,
But if we leave it on the 17th at 5:30,
Yeah,
yeah, okay,
let's do that.
all right.
and we'll just do that one first.
Yep.
Okay. That is
And-
best.
And worst case, Donna, we can also start, and if you're, 5 or 10 minutes late, then
As long as
It's more
Joanna's
like every
here.
Half an hour, an hour.
If Joanne's
That's
here,
gonna be
then we
the,
can at
that's
least
the
vote on it.
last.
Yep,
I got
we
like a
can vote
week
if
and a
we're,
half.
yeah, if the three of us are here,
Crunch.
then we can vote,
True. Sure.
so.
Okay.
All right, moving on, public comment, any comment from the public?
Colleen?
So,
She's there.
so as far as, I obviously know we, vacation leave accrual, we will be putting on the next agenda,
Mhm.
with all four of us being here.
That's the goal.
Okay.
The goal, yes,
So if
always the goal.
Joanna or, somebody's sick and can't make it, we'll just push it again. Is that what I'm understanding? Keep pushing it until we have a full form.
Not the ideal, so let's hope for,
Was Nancy ever on? I didn't see her.
Not
name.
today.
Yeah, well, not tonight, okay. I just didn't want to miss her in case.
and any public comment from the committee?
No.
All right, then I will take a motion for adjournment, 6:52 PM.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Aye. Bye, everybody.
Let's go to that.